Today's inspiration, Fox Run Dry Riesling and spring in the Finger Lakes. And today we're going to put together this beautiful roasted chicken breast with a little bit of soft cheddar polenta and some dandelion greens that we've foraged from the backyard, along with a few dandelion flowers and some wild white violets. They grow between the cracks in concrete and rocks. I like to look for the ones that don't have flowers. They're a little less bitter and a little more tender. Now you can't miss these. They're easy to find, and we'll need a couple of dandelion blossoms. And lastly, we'll want to find a few of those wild white violets. Now back into the kitchen to season up those chicken breasts with a little bit of kosher salt, black pepper, and dry thyme. Next up, let's get a 4-quart saucepan on high heat. Drop in about a tablespoon of butter and just stir it around before dropping in the onions and garlic. Now a little more kosher salt and black pepper over the surface. Another quick stir, and then we're going to move on and add 8 ounces or 1 cup of water. Now let's get a skillet on high heat. We're going to put about a tablespoon of Stony Brook sunflower oil in the pan. Give it a shake to even it out. And then put the chicken breasts in, seasoning side down, so that we can brown up and crisp up that chicken skin. And don't forget to season the other side with salt, pepper, and a little more dry thyme. Now let's adjust the heat just a little bit lower and set the timer for 5 minutes. Now moving back over to the polenta, let's stir in the cornmeal about 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time, whisking constantly until it becomes a little bit smoother and not so lumpy. Whisk works great for that. Now let's turn the burner on low while we give it a quick stir with a wooden spoon. Add in the heavy cream and that delicious aged British cheddar from Miranda Cheese Company. Give it another good stir to mix it in. Then we're going to pop a lid on it, turn the burner off so that the residual heat can continue to cook the polenta. Perfect timing. Let's turn the chicken. Check out that golden brown crispy skin. Now turn the burner off, grab the pan, and put it in the top shelf in your oven. Now another 5 minutes to finish roasting the chicken, and let's move on to the next step. Every year I try to buy 1 or 2 bags of shallots from Remembrance Farm in Trumansburg, New York. They're unique in that they taste both like onion and garlic at the same time. And they work perfectly in a recipe like this, where you're adding them to wilted greens. Now let's get another small pan on high heat, drop in a tablespoon of butter, and go ahead and add those shallots. Next, we're going to want to stir them around with a flat wooden spatula or a wooden spoon, whatever works, breaking them up into smaller pieces. A little bit of kosher salt and pepper over the surface, and my favorite ingredient, verjus, made by Tina Hazlitt on the east side of Seneca. And then just a smidgen of that Fox Run Dry Riesling. And there's the countdown to check the chicken. We're going to pull that out of the oven and just give it a little press with our thumb and finger. We're looking for a little bit of spring back and very little juice in the pan. Now toss those dandelion greens in with the shallots, quickly stirring them with a fork, incorporating the shallots, garlic, and hop liquid. That'll wilt those greens in probably 30 seconds or less. Now off with the burner and on to the plate up. First up, let's grab that soft polenta and give it a good stir with a spoon to lighten it up. Put about 1/2 cup, 3/4 of a cup on a plate, depending on how hungry you are. And then move over and top the polenta with those hot wilted dandelion greens. Now back to the chicken. Let's just place one right in the center of each plate. And don't forget that concentrated juice. It's going to act like sauce that you really didn't have to make and add a lot of great flavor. I think you'll find the intense citrus aromas, the subtle lemongrass and lime zest flavors work nicely with that roasted flavor of the chicken and that same lime zest flavor we get out of the verjuice. And lastly, before we head to the table, a quick garnish with dandelion petals and a couple of those wild white violets. And that is how we pair 2017 Fox Run Dry Riesling with roasted chicken, soft cheddar polenta, and foraged dandelion greens.